All right, shalom, shalom. All right, first and foremost, I'd like to give all thanks, glory, honor, and praise to the supreme power, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Rakah, Kwadash. Double honors to the elders and the apostles of the great millstone. Peace and salutation to all our came out there doing the works in sincerity and charity through the four winds in truth. All right. Shalom to the few sisters watching and learning. Stay strong and remain humble. This is the brother Kazawan from the GMS Bahamas Nassau camp. I got you with another lesson. Lord's willing, the lesson be edifying and help you be built up in the spirit and power of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. And with this lesson, I'm going into bad times. Bad times which consists of famine. All right. A lack of bread, lack of water, lack of nutrition, lacking of anything. All right. The Most High Power Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai also said it's going to be a famine of the word. All right, but that's another lesson for another time. Because here you have it from a Yahoo article, which was written on the 29th of February. All right, the so-called quote-unquote leap year, the leap year day. All right. It says Cuba asks the UN for help as food shortages worsen. Cuba asks the UN for help as food shortages worsen. Now we know that Cuba, all right, Cuba, the Cubans over there are our brother and our sisters, all right. They are part of the 12 tribes, all right, of Israel, okay, which consists of the so-called Native Americans, Negroes, and Latinos, all right. I think they will come under the Latino tribe, all right. I think they're Manasseh, but I don't want to be misquoted. All right, but knowing the history on Cuba, Cuba is what you would call a damn a proud country, a communist country. All right, that was anti Babylon or anti anything to do with Babylon, because as you know, there's tensions between up to this day. There's tension between Cuba and America. All right. And if you go into history, you know they had a long lasting conflict with the former leader, Fidel Castro. You know what I mean? A lot of assassination attempts, allegedly. You know, just a lot of sanctions, a lot of things going on, because you know Babylon go, if they can't get what they want to get, all right, from your country, all right, they impose certain things, all right, to march you down, all right. They either take away your fuel, they take away your oil reserves, or they take away your food, you know, making it difficult, all right, for you to sustain economically. But Cuba has been doing so for the past, I would say, I can't even say for the past a lot amount of years, you know. But Cuba, like I said, Cuba is a proud country. So for them, for this headline to be accurate and says Cuba asked the United Nations for help as food shortages worsen, we know that this has to be through the spirit and power of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. All right, the Most High Power Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai has sent famine in the land of Cuba. All right, and if we could send famine in the land of Cuba, which has some of the best soil, all right, in order to grow and to farm, all right. The fruits in Cuba are humongous, all right. The size of a regular apple isn't going to be the size of a regular apple in Cuba. It's going to be 2 times bigger, all right. Their soil is fertile. So for the Most High Power Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai to have a food shortage to Cuba, all right, we know that this is prophecy being fulfilled. Because with the Cubans being a part of the 12 tribes of Israel, this is a part of the cases. With the Most High Power Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai put on our people for iniquity. All right. But without further ado, let me get inside of the article. And I want to get a couple of precepts to drive my point home. I'm not going to make this too long and get out of here. All right, I'll read the heading again. This is from the BBC News, written on February 29th of this year. It says Cuba asks the UN for help as food shortages worsen. It says Cuba's government has for the first time asked the UN's food program for help as food shortages on the communist-run island worsen. All right, so Cuba asking for help. The United Nations, they like to be the end-all, save-all. All right, you ask them for help, they make a big spectacle of it. They put it on their media, showing you what they're doing for your people. Over. Meantime, whilst they're inside there, they're doing some other underhand foolishness. All right, acting as agents. All right, for the beast system. All right. It says that the World Food Program, the WFP, had received. Slovakia. Let me just highlight it so you can know where I am. It says that the World Food Program, the WFP, said it had received an unprecedented official request from the Cuban government for help providing powdered milk to children under the ages of 7. The request is a sign of the serious Cuban economic crisis, as well as a shortage of milk, fuel, and medicines are also running low. All right, so you see what they say? They say it received an unprecedented official request, because like I tell you, very rarely you hear Cuba asking, all right, anything to do with the beast system in terms of Babylon or what Babylon is heading, asking for help. All right, all this is through the spirit and power of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai. I tell you that. All right. All right. So for my first precept, I get the book of Amos, 4 and 6. All right, this is the book of Amos 4 and 6. It reads, "And I also have given you cleanness of teeth in all your cities, and want of bread in all your places, yet ye have not returned to Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai." All right, read it again. I think I missed some. "And I also have given you cleanness of teeth in all your cities, and want of bread in all your places, yet have ye not returned unto me, said Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai." And the Most High Power says he's going to give you the cleanness of teeth. That ain't to do with no teeth whitening. Right, that ain't to do with no grills. That ain't to do with no teeth cleaning or no fillings. All right. That means you wouldn't be able to suck a morsel of food out of your teeth. All right. That means he's bringing famine to your land. All right. He's giving you cleanness of teeth. Nothing to suck out of your teeth. Nothing for you to eat. All right. The Most High Power Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai have a strange sense of humor, right? Because we know over in the land of Cuba, they big on JC, all right? Caesar Borgia, all right? They big on idol worship also. You understand? We'll back to the article. All right, it says the request is a sign. Said the request is a sign of the seriousness of the Cuban economic crisis. So as well as a shortage of milk, they have a shortage of food and a shortage of medicine, which is running low. All right, bad times are upon us. All right, but will our people repent? The Most High Power Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai ain't playing. All right, the Most High Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai ain't playing, because if you see Cuba, could be hit with a famine. Cuba with fertile soil and a good vegetation of land. Come on, man. Open up your eyes. All right. Can you read a little bit more? It says the WFP confirmed to Spanish news agency EFE that it had been approached by the Cuban government to continue the monthly delivery of 1 kilogram or 35 ounces of milk for girls and boys under the age of 7 throughout the country. You see what they're saying? Anytime you reach your hand out or anytime you ask Babylon for help, they got to make a spectacle of it. All right? Because you see what they say? The WFP confirmed to a Spanish news agency. All right? So anytime they help you, they make a spectacle of it just so people could say, well, hey, they helping them. So, you and effort, they ain't doing that with the goodness of their heart. They doing that with something expected in return. You understand? That's how the devil go. All right. It says that the WFP said it had already started delivering milk powder to the island. All right. So the babies, they looking out for the babies. Now the babies basically suffering. All right. There ain't no milk for them children to eat. All right. There ain't no milk for the girls, the young sucklings. All right, to eat. It says powdered milk and other basic foods are provided to Cubans at a subsidized price through through ration books. But delays and lack of supplies are common, especially at times in economic hardship. All right, so if Cuba can't pay their bills, all right, where they getting some of their foods from, or where they getting their powdered milk from, so where they getting some of their fuel and medicines from. If they ain't paying their bill on time due to the hard economic times going on over there, right? Like I said, because Babylon imposed them sanctions and stuff on them also. So they're not one of the richest countries in the world, all right? So they making ends meet, you know what I mean? So overall, as an overall country, if they ain't paying their bills, automatically people ain't if people could stop, they can stop and stop sending their goods, all right, to them, all right. It says, but delays and lack of supplies are common, especially at times of economic hardships. It says that the system was first introduced in 1962 by Cuban leader Fidel Castro after the United States imposed sanctions on the island, which exacerbated the shortages. All right. So with the economic crisis, you see what Babylon do? Babylon put them sanctions on them, which make it even worse, which make it even harder for them to import certain things. So that's why they in the position they is now. You understand? Yeah, man. So you know that I bring a precept, man. Let me get Deuteronomy 32 and 24. This is the book of Deuteronomy, the 32nd chapter. I think it's 34. It's lock here. 24. Deuteronomy 32 and 24. It reads, they shall be burnt with hunger. All right, going into the cases of our people, because anywhere you see Jake is, you so-called Native American, Negroes, and Latinos, anywhere you see Israel is, these curses are going to follow, okay? And right now, I'm in the land of Cuba, all right? A famine is in the land of Cuba. Just as it said in the opening statements of Deuteronomy 32 and 34, they shall be burnt with hunger and devoured with burning heat and with bitter destruction. I will also send the teeth of beasts upon them with poisonous serpents of the dust. The Most High Power Yahweh Hashem Yahushai don't play when it comes to iniquity, when it comes to stacking sin upon sin, when it comes to turning your back, all right, on the Most High Power Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. He don't take that lightly, all right. And our people catching hell with this up to this day, because we are yet still in our captivity, all right. We still under the curses, all right. These ain't gonna come off of us until Lord Yahweh shall return, all right, in his rightful place, in his rightful order, or ruling this earth, all right. But it ain't long now, because as we can see, the prophecy is jumping off of the pages, all right. We have famines, pestilence, wars and rumors of wars, all right. We have the mandatory implementation of the RFID microchip coming, all right, and the coup de grace, all right, World War III, all right. All these things are happening, all right. But right now, not to stray too far from the lesson, right now this is about famine, and the famine, all right, in Cuba. We get a little bit more in the article, get a couple more precepts in it. I'll be out of here, all right. It says the Cuban government continues to blame the ongoing U.S. sanctions for the dire state of its economy, but critics say government mismanagement is behind the economic crisis, the worst in 3 decades. So this the worst it's been in Cuba for 30 years. All right. The Cuban government blaming Babylon for the sanctions. All right. Babylon blaming the Cuban government, saying that they mismanaged the country. All right. So this is where we at. All this is through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, because according to Proverbs 21:1, the Most High Power said the king's heart is in the hand of the Most High. All right. It says last year, Vice Prime Minister Jorge Luis Tapia Fonseca did concede the progress in making Cuba more self-sufficient was lagging and blamed Cuban workers, whom he said lacked a culture of productivity. All right. Now this man have a Spanish last name, but he gotta be a damn Edomite. He gotta be a Edomite, because what you see what if he trying to say, if you read between the lines, he said that Cuban workers, whom he said lacked a culture of productivity. You know, he want them to be old damn slave. He's telling them, the people, saying the people lazy over there in Cuba. They ain't want wake. That's what he trying to say. You understand? But the people know why they ain't want wake. All right? The people know why they like that. Okay? They ain't fool. You know, Babylon always looking for a new slave to invent a new slave. All right? That's why they're in the process now and then inventing digital slaves. All right? That's why they're coming down hard with that charagma. They're doing a subtle push. All right? For this charagma. All right? It's soon to be mandatory implemented. All right? Because they see people catching on to their foolishness, people catching on to their craftiness and their wickedness. All right? But 2/3 of our people are going to fall victim to that any which way. But the elect is not. All right? It says, work is needed to produce food. It says, we all expect to be sent food, but we do nothing to produce it, he said in July. Shortages of milk have become worsened since the Interior Commerce Minister Betsy Diaz warning earlier this month that deliveries for children aged between 6 months and 2 years had been delayed. All right, so they're in some bad times over there in Cuba. All right, they're in some bad times over there in Cuba. We get the book of Ezekiel. But the Most High Power Yahweh Bashem Yahushai already sent his prophets, and his prophets spoke about this. All right, before our time. All right, it happened then, and it's happening now. All right, there's nothing new under the sun. The supreme power Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. All right, everything he does in righteousness. Is a reason why the Most High Power Yahweh Bashem Yahushai doing. All right, everything is in fair balance. This is Ezekiel 5:16. It reads, when they shall send upon them the evil arrows of famine, which shall be for their destruction. The Most High said, when they shall send the evil arrows of famine, all right, the bad time arrows of famine, which shall be for their destruction. Who destruction? All right, you so-called Native Americans, Negroes, and Latinos. All right, the 2/3 of our people, all right, who turned their back on the supreme power Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. All right, who don't want to repent, who don't believe, okay, who put the law, statutes, and testimonies of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai behind their back. This who this for. All right, the Most High Power Yahweh Bashem Yahushai to send famine upon you, which means that you're going to starve to death for iniquity, for continuously stacking sin upon sin. You take it again from the top. Ezekiel 5:16. When I shall send upon them the evil hours of famine, which shall be for their destruction, and which I will send to destroy you, and I will increase the famine upon you, and will break your staff of bread. See the Most High Power Yahweh Bashem Yahushai started in Cuba. Babies 6 months to 2 years old. The Most High will start with them breaking their staff of bread, along with certain medicines for elderly people, along with fuel, all right, that causes the country to run. The supreme power Yahweh Bashem Yahushai is far out. All right, there's one wise and greatly to be feared, roughly paraphrasing. That's the Most High Power Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, who sitteth upon the throne. All right. This is the end of it. I might as well read the end of it. It reads, she said that the government was working daily to find alternatives. Right, the government's scrambling, right, to find whatever else is going on. All right. It says milk is not the only thing Cubans are struggling to get a hold of. It says that a shortage of fuel led to the annual May Day parade, arguably the biggest annual mass celebration on the island, being canceled last year. Right, so Cuba had to cancel events. all right, because of the lack of food and fuel, all right. It says, and from Friday, the fuel that is available will cost 5 times as much as price hikes comes into effect. Wow, all right. So everything going up, everything going up in Cuba, all right, which goes into that inflation. Bad times are coming. All right, let me get this last precept before I close out. Bad times are coming, and guess what? It's in Cuba now, right? But it is gonna trickle. It's gonna trickle its way down here. And when they say the down here, I'm speaking about the Bahamas. All right, speaking about the chain of islands, the archipelago known as the Bahamas. You understand? And all other Caribbean islands. All right, and it's also coming to Babylon also. All right, because anywhere you so-called Native Americans, Negroes, and Latinos are, all right, these things are going to follow. Okay, why? Because our people don't want to repent, because they don't want to come back to the supreme power, Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, while the doors of mercy, all right, are still open unto them. All right. Isaiah chapter 10 and 1, it says, woe unto them that decree unrighteous decrees, and that write grievousness which they have prescribed. All right, because it's going to come into our countries also, because a lot of our people, the majority of our leaders are hirelings, all right, of the beast system, are hirelings of Babylon, all right, which means they're mercenaries. They just work for money. They'll sell out their people for money, all right, and that is relevant with our top leaders in each of these Caribbean nations, in the majority of these countries, all right. So they drink the wine of Babylon, all right. So they get their philosophies. So whatever they say sanction, they sanction. You know what I mean? Whatever they say tax, they tax on the people, all right. Once they receiving, they buy. Once they receiving, they underhanded money. You understand? So the Most High Power Yahweh Shem Yahushai say, woe meaning destruction unto them that decree unrighteous decrees, and what right grievousness which they have prescribed. You understand? All right. It's like I tell you, Cuba's under them heavy sanctions. You understand? They under heavy sanctions. All right. Last precept I want to get. And the Apocrypha. I think that's second address. Second address 15 and 49 again. Alright. Repent now while the doors of mercy are still open, while Yahweh Bashim Yahushai is still showing you mercy. Alright. While you still could repent. Alright, because these times like these is coming. And it ain't too far away. Cuba is our neighbor in the Caribbean, all right? So we're showing you when that trickle-down effect come, all right, it ain't too far away, all right? What the old people that say down here, say you ain't pass nothing until you die, you know? You ain't pass nothing. So a lot of people who living fine and dandy because they can eat good, because they living good, and they think it can't affect them. All right, because they could still afford it, because of their paycheck, they live in paycheck, the paycheck thing's going a little good now. All right, and the snip of a finger and the drop of a hat, Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, all right, could change everything around quickly. All right. This is book of second address 15 and 49. It reads, I will send plagues upon thee, widowhood, poverty, famine, Cuba, the sword, and pestilence, to waste thy houses with destruction and death. And these things are prevalent, all right, in the earth right now, all right. These things tie right into prophecy, okay. We are at the end times now. The time for repentance is now. Repent now while the doors of mercy are still open, all right. All right, so Lord's willing, this lesson was edifying and served its purpose, which is to help build the spiritual tabernacle of King David. I'd like to give all thanks, glory, honor, and praise to the supreme power, Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahushai, Bahashim, Rakah, Kadash. Double honors to the elders and the apostles of the great millstone. Peace and salutation to all the elect. All right, this is the brother Krazawan closing out until we meet again. Shalom.